Welcome back. We're here now for the Shout for the Illumination series. This is December 2023, and it's a joy to be here with all of you. We have this beautiful audience, and then you online from all over the world. We can feel those little dots of light all over the globe. Thank you for being here with us. And now it's time to get ready. Jeff is bringing in Adamus, and so while he does that, it's most important that we start with the deep and conscious breath. This is a time where we stop and breathe with presence, breathing into this now moment. Take that good deep breath and let the energies flow. Feel into you, opening to the highest potentials, all of us, each of us. Breathe. The I, them that I am, I exist. Breathe that. Feel it. Breathe into the soul of you, the depths of you. Take that good deep breath. So welcome you are. Feel that energy. Take the good deep breath as we go forward into this shout.
Hear I am that I am. Adamus of sovereign domain. Now, let's take a good deep breath with that opening for this shout. It's all right there. It was all right there. You know, the whole shout, we could just stop right here, take the rest of the day off, party, have fun. You know, life is kind of like that. It's all there. It's all downloaded. It's all. Come on up, Carrie. Thank you so much. That looks delicious. What do you have for me today?
This is rum cake made by Vanessa.
Yes.
And my coffee made with Joanne and Marcus. All three of us made that coffee together.
I am so impressed and flattered. Thank you. One problem, though. I need 12 more cups of coffee.
For real.
Yeah, I've invited some
put 'em
special.
on the, carpet?
I've invited some special guests in today. We have a special day lined up, and they like coffee just as much as I do. We have Tobias and Kathumi, we have Sarton, FM, Doxy, Caroline, and many others joining us today. And, you know, I don't want to be the only one drinking, if you know what I mean.
Because we could do a round of shots.
Yeah, well, they'll take theirs. That's true. Line them up out in the other room, line up their shots, and then let them come in over here.
Oh, let them. So what am I supposed to do? Tell me.
Shots. I'm sure you have some Saint Germain liqueur.
Yes, sir, I do.
12 shots.
12
yeah.
shots.
Yes, good.
Do I bring them back?
Oh, they'll drink out there.
Oh, they're going to hang with me in the kitchen?
Yes, they are.
Hey, I need help with this dishes, too.
They do not do dishes.
Well, Marcus can help.
So let's take a deep breath with that opening while I take a sip of the coffee. Linda, would you like some cake?
No, thank you.
So it's all downloaded. It's all right there.
I can't take any more sweetness.
The essence of everything we're going to do today. And now we're going to unravel it. We're just going to unravel it. We're going to go through the experience. I'm sure most of you felt a little bit of something while the music was playing and the sweet scenes that were shown. Brings up something, if nothing else, maybe just, like we talked about in our last shout, a little calm, a little quiet. You know, it's that time of the year, that time to relax. It's been a big year, huge year, and it was all right there. Now, how are we going to get there? How are we going to download all this or now experience it and wrap it all up at the end? It's really quite profound because that's kind of the way life is. You actually create it, sometimes in the other realm, sometimes here, but you create all that energy and then you go out and experience it. It's all there. Now, I will state a couple things here as we get started. Today we're going to be focusing on light. We had some wonderful discussions back at Villa Amio about light, and today we're going to be talking more about that. I will be chastising Shaumbra to an extent because sometimes you do tend to make it very, very difficult on yourselves. But I want you to remember this moment. The music was playing. You relaxed for a moment. You got out of your mind for the most of you, and you just let yourself fall into it. And it was a beautiful thing. Easy. You didn't have to work at it. It was all being done for you. It was energy serving you. And now we'll go back walk through the experience of getting there. So let's take a deep breath into our subject today of light. You're here on the planet for a couple of pretty basic reasons, not real hard to figure out. You're here to radiate your light. That's it. We've talked about it time and time again, but I'll repeat. This is the most critical, important, essential point on this planet has ever experienced in all your lifetimes. And I know you don't wake up in the morning necessarily and think this is really big because you worry about other things, but it is. It's huge. And it's going very, very well. Couldn't have necessarily said that 10 years ago or even a couple years ago. There was a lot of doubt about where things would go, but there is enough light on the planet right now that's eventually going to change everything. And I'm not talking of a long, long, long time away. I'm talking in the next, the college doesn't want me to give numbers, but but indulge me, Cauldre. You're going to see it in the next 15, 20 years on the planet. There'll be some hardships getting there, of course, because humans don't really like change. And there's a lot of old power brokers, players on the planet that are trying to hold on, but they can't. They cannot. Things are going to change this planet. The very light that you're bringing in is going to change it to where the scoundrels simply will not be able to stand the brightness of the light. They'll go off somewhere on their own. And this planet is going to become the planet of love and wisdom and light. Mm-hmm. And I can feel it. It's like, thank you, one hand. Yeah, everybody else is like, damn it.
Finally.
We're moving there. Now, I know some of you, right away you're doubting and saying, but look at the news. I do. We do in the Crimson Council. We assess the energies of the planet. We measure them on a constant basis. And yes, you're going through some turmoil. And there's wars that are very unfortunate and imbalances that are unjust, but it's getting there. So as we open today's shout, I want to take a moment to bring everybody together, to let your light radiate. Now, I'm not a big fan of getting everybody together. Let's do a global Shaumbra Kumbaya group experience, because it's really very, very personal. It's very personal. But I think right now is an appropriate time to do just that. You're here on the planet to shine your light, and at the same time to enjoy your life. I'm going to talk about it in just a moment, but I really have no tolerance anymore for you not enjoying your life. I'm tired of it. It doesn't look good on you. It's an old game, and I'll be calling you on it. It's no longer necessary. You're in some old patterns. They keep bringing it back. I call it the Shaumbra Curse, and we will be addressing that today. And it's time to get over that. But before we do anything else, let's put on some Morabi kind of music, and let's take a deep breath and do what you do best. Let your light shine. Take a good deep breath. Now, some of you think, well, my light is dim. It's actually really not. Or my light is dirty. You got to clean that lens of the headlight, and it's not. I've seen some of you actually hold back, letting your light shine because you think you're sending out toxins to the world. You're junk. You're not. No, when you just let your light shine, it doesn't take any work. You know, it's kind of like allowing. Allowing should not be difficult. Yet Shaumbra makes it difficult at times, but letting your light radiate, something happens, you go straight to the core, straight to your essence. You bypass all the junk, all the noise, because you know that this is the greatest service you could be doing. So just let it shine. And I know what happens for many of you. Say, is it working? Yes, it's working. Would you please stop doubting it? Own it. Own it, that your light is shining. And just let it radiate out to the planet. Without agenda. Without battle. You know, when you get into this basic, this essence of who you are, and just let it shine, that's such a beautiful feeling because it's doing what you really came here to do. It's very simple. You don't have to get mental about it. This is it right here. You remember, before you were born in this lifetime, getting ready to come back here, eager to come back here. Thinking what you're going to be doing is letting your light shine. You didn't know how it was all going to happen and what it would be like, but damn it, you were going to be here to bring in consciousness. Many of you suited up in your suit of armor, donned your swords, put on your helmets, ready for battle. He found out along the way it was time to retire that sword. You know, I love former Archangel Michael, but get rid of the sword, you know. It's not really needed. This light right here, of all of us, is far, far mightier than the sword. This is what you came here to do. Maybe you anticipated there would be a lot of effort. You'd have to be battling the darkness. You and your light. Now the demons of darkness coming around, and we'd have one great big battle, a huge war. Nope. It's just doing just this. You could do it while you're drinking a cup of coffee, having some rum cake, whatever it is, sitting in the bathtub. This is it. And it is changing the planet. You know, see, there's an expectation, I guess, that there's going to be some sort of force, some thunder and lightning, or what do you have happening today? Your solar flares and everything else. Not really. Once in a while, but it's pretty quiet work. That's so beautiful. And yeah, there's a lot of disruption on the planet, but if it wasn't for what you and others are doing, allowing your light to shine, it'd be a lot worse. Right now, we're just going through kind of the readjustment phase on the planet. Old wars coming to their conclusions, old battles. Some of them have been going on long before Earth, and now they're kind of reaching the end. They cannot sustain when there's this much light. Feel your own light for a moment. I want you to feel how pure it is, in spite of what your concerns, what you might think. Just take a moment to feel. This is what is radiating out to the world. You can't do it if you have an agenda, if you're still battling causes, whether they're yours or those of humanity, of this planet. It's done, well, with love. But would you take a moment to just feel into the love that is in your light? One of the highlights of my time with Shaumbra was recently at Villa Amio with a group that gathered there for what they thought was, I don't know, Staying in Grace or whatever title we come up with. And a couple days before the event, they started feeling something very different. Some actually got sick, and some felt out of sorts, a little discombobulated, because they could feel we weren't going to talk about staying in grace. I already talked about that. We're going to address love. And we did. Not in sugar-coated terms, but the love within and the changing nature of love on this planet. And this indeed is the planet of love. It was first experienced here. Not somewhere else, not by Martians or Palladians or Arcturians or not even by archangels. Not by spirit. It was experienced first here. Through humans, through you. And we're ready now on this planet for Love 2.0. The next iteration. Something so much deeper, so much cleaner, so much more real than where the old Love 0.1 was going. So when you feel into your light, this thing that you're radiating out to the planet, feel into its love. And when you do, you might notice how it's very different than the love you might have experienced before. What's different about Love 0.2 is it doesn't cling. It's not needy. It contains no elements of the sexual energy virus. It makes no demands on anyone else. It's not conditional. This is what you're shining out. It's going to be well over some people's heads. They're not going to understand it. They're really not going to even be aware of it. It's so different. Love 2.0 it's a bit challenging, actually. It doesn't attach to anything. Humans are used to having love with attachment. So it's going to feel almost elusive, where you want to grab it and hold on to it, try to make it do certain things, and it doesn't. It doesn't cling. But yet, there's such beauty in it because it's free. It is freedom. This is what you're shining out. It's light that contains a new type of love to it. See how easy it is? I don't very often call together all Shaumbra like this. Calder's asking me why, and it's really quite simple, because I don't want you to think you have to rely on a group or somebody calling a group together to do what you're doing right now. I don't want you to think that we have to gather from around the globe and even have some type of cause associated with it. No, I want you to do it on your own. Every day or every week, doesn't really matter, but on your own. As a sovereign being. What is happening on Earth is so important to all of creation. I get very, very upset when I hear people talking about Earth as some backwater place. Grand aliens with their amazing wisdom, and you have to look up to them. No, this is it. It's happening right here. You're becoming sovereign beings. You're elevating love to a new level that will eventually go out to all of creation. We, those of us in the Crimson Council, watch and observe. We don't interfere, or rarely interfere, but we watch and observe and report back to you what's happening. And we've watched how your light has changed even since earlier in the year. Your own light. Oh, and I know you forget once in a while to consciously radiate that light. That's all right. It's still there. Consciously radiating it, sitting on a park bench or taking a drive and just letting your light shine, that's good for you. It reminds you. But your light is always shining right now. What I'd like you to be aware of in this beautiful, still moment is that love from you is also shining on you. Yes, it shines on you first. All light shines upon its creator before anything else, before it goes anywhere else. And Love 2.0, well, let it shine on you right now. You forget to do that, you forget to really acknowledge that it's shining on you. Loving yourself, that's a tough one, really tough one. But let it shine on you. I mean, seriously. Right now. This very light that you're radiating out to all of creation, let it shine upon you. It has no attachments. It's not going to act like Love 1.0. It's going to be much cleaner. This new love will not tell you that you have to change your ways, improve yourself, be worthy of its love. It doesn't do that. It is always there. But yet, if you try to control it, to limit it, overmanage it or any of that. It'll be just a fleeting feeling. It'll seem like it's gone away. It wants to be free just like you do. Let's take a deep breath together with Shaumbra from all around the globe to let that light shine out onto the planet. Filled with your new love. And as you feel this love, this light flowing from you, let it fill you up. Let it shine on every part of you. I don't want a single one of you to ever feel again that you're not worthy of your own love. Let's take a good deep breath. Good deep breath. Pretty simple. You're here to shine your light and to enjoy life. But that's where we run into a problem. Generally, Shaumbra is pretty good about shining the light. And again, you think you forget to do it. Oh, geez, I haven't done it in 2 weeks or a month or whatever. You're doing it all the time. You're doing it all the time. As long as you're alive on this planet, in the physical body, you're doing it. The problem is this second part about enjoying your life. It seems to be like we're missing that part. We're missing that, and I'm just going to enjoy. Now, if you remember back in, this summer sometime at one of the shouts, we had a little talk about battling, making things difficult, fighting, causes, all the rest of that. And I put forth the challenge. I said, we'll revisit at the end of the year. Put forth that challenge. Can you get over the battles and the fighting? Can you stop fighting within yourself? Where's it getting you? Nowhere. Can you stop the battles with life? With other people, with your families, probably not, but with other people. So let's visit that today. Linda on the microphone, please. And I'm going to start with our poster child for battling, Tad. Tad, since, when was it, June, July? Yeah, please. So you were a boxer.
I was just a boxer.
Yeah, they wrote that song for you. Yeah, you don't have to sing it, please. So you were a boxer, and you had started a business so you could box some more. It was your new boxing ring. Yeah, and I took you to task, and you were cooperative enough. You brought your gloves into the next shout. You turned them in, but did you really?
Yes, I did.
Good. Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Okay. And now I've got to go to Gary. Did she?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. She'd kick your ass if you said anything other than that. No, I'm giving you a hard time. But would you give the mic to him for a moment? We'll come back to you. But how did she? What did you observe in all this?
She didn't fight against what was happening.
Right.
She let it happen and moved on to whatever was next.
But if you don't fight it, especially your startup business, and there's all the pressure and the dynamics, the money, the manufacturing, the marketing, and everything else. So if you don't fight it, it's going to just take you over, right?
Not necessarily.
Oh, really?
You let it come to you.
Wow, what a concept! I think I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Yes. So, what changes did you see in Tad personally?
More relaxed, more open to everything that's going on around.
Easier to be around?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Good. And now, how is the company doing?
It's getting there. It's coming along. It is moving, not necessarily at the pace most people would like, but it's
Sure.
moving at its natural natural pace.
Because, none of this is really about the company or the product.
Right.
It's really not. And, the focus, the expectation is, okay, if I'm a good creator, the company's going to be on the stock market next year type of thing. The company wasn't about the beans, so to speak, literally. It wasn't about that. It was about the experience. Now, if the company does well, great, but maybe not. Maybe it would distract you. But it was about how do you stop the battle? How do you let things come to you?
Yeah. You just open yourself to the passion that's within you and let it come.
Yeah, absolutely. Good.
Yeah.
So we'll get to you in a moment, sure. So life has been
I'm
a little
speaking
easier.
Yes.
And then even when some rough experiences come about, which they will because you're still embodied here, you're still in this kind of mass consciousness stew, you're going to run into problems, but instead of battling them, you just let it go through you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you find.
Are you happier?
Yes.
Good.
Thanks for asking. Yes.
Yes, yeah. Good. I was concerned about you for a while there.
Yeah, me too. Thanks.
Yeah, good. And thank you. And the microphone back to Tad. So, Tad, what have you noticed? Was it difficult to hang up the gloves and not go try to get them back?
It was exciting. No, it wasn't. It was a relief. It's
Okay.
like, you're gone. You're done.
Right.
And the one thing that I wanted to say that changed, if you will, that I used to rule or be motivated by emotion.
Really?
Like, yeah, gotta get this done. Gotta. Shut up. You see making fun of me?
No.
Okay. And it changed to, what's the word? Like sensing?
Yes.
Instead of emotion, it was, I guess that's the best word, sensing.
Feeling and sensing rather
Feeling
than
and
emotional
sensing.
knee-jerk reactions.
And it was, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some crappy stuff has happened. I'm like,
Big
okay,
deal.
well, yeah, big deal.
Yeah,
Exactly.
big deal. I mean, the human doesn't really like it, but big deal. It's just one more thing to transmute, to allow to change. And, seriously, ultimately, it's not about whether the company is successful or not. And then when you can realize that, then become successful because you're not worried about the company's success, you're not focused on that. It's about the experience of going through these things, and they can actually be beautiful.
And that is what changed when you talked to me in July. I was like, oh no, it's not going to happen. I mean, Taz, I said, oh, I'm going to do it. Adamus, stop it. But
Right.
it's exactly what you said. I mean, it is.
It's just beans,
changed.
I mean,
It's just beans, man.
yeah.
Shredded or whole. There they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But if you start looking at it from the whole standpoint of it's brought you close to a lot of people, it's got you deep into your own creative sense and your own self, and you had to do throwing a lot of junk out and to get into a more holistic place with yourself, and there's tremendous value in that. And then once you let go of all the stuff, you suddenly realize you don't have to work at the company being successful, and that's what you were doing before. You're working at it. You don't need to.
time.
It's just there.
Yes.
And again, for all of you, the human expectation is, we're masters, everything works out, but there's still that human element that has an expectation from the human point of view of how it should work. But there's a lot of other gifts in this thing. And then it does work. And then you get tired of it one day and sell it and make millions and say, well, that was fun. Yeah.
That's the plan, but if the plan doesn't work, it's fine.
The plan is working, and the plan isn't always what the old human expectation would like it to be. You'd like to run out there in the market and make millions and be interviewed on popular talk shows and all the rest of that. That's not why you're here.
Right.
You're here for other reasons. Good.
And I'm smiling. all
You
the
are
way.
smiling.
I
Yes.
just-
Yes. Absolutely.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. Thank you. So we're talking about this whole thing of battling and fighting, and I challenge you to say, get over it. Really get over it. There are no battles left. There's not even a battle of the light and the dark. I mean, and that maybe some of you are depressed about that because, no, you're warriors, you know. And for a warrior to hear that there's no more battles, that's a little tough, but there aren't. We're not even battling what's going on the planet at this point. We're letting the light shine. It's much better to be a master, a creator, than it is to be a warrior. Warrior only takes on one side. The true master creator, they get the whole thing. So back to the audience, lights up, please. I want to sidetrack for a moment and talk to Vince. Vince, how are you doing? Linda will have the microphone with you. Death is a very challenging thing.
It is.
And every time somebody you know close to you dies, it also brings up your own immortality or mortality rather. Immortality. Yes. And have you been talking to Carolyn?
Oh, I talk to her a lot.
Good. And
I assume she's listening.
did she ever?
Yes.
Good. Can you feel her presence?
Occasionally.
No, I mean right now.
No.
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 All right. Put on a little music, Peter, please. She's right here. Yeah, and so don't think about it, okay? Little music. She's right here, sitting in her chair, as usual, sitting right beside you. And she's doing fine.
Well, I know that.
She's doing fine. She pities you, actually, but no, her transition was really easy. And I had a lot of nice chats with her since she's come. She is an ascended master, by the way. Not all of them make it to that standpoint, but she whisked right over here. It was easy for her because she wasn't afraid of death. She was very relieved to let go of the physical body. It had been a hardship of hers for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And she felt that was the one thing that kept her from her realization while she was here, just the physical ailments. And she didn't have any leftover junk when she left. She was free of all that. And can you hear, can you feel what she's saying? You're thinking too much, Vince. It comes from the heart. You know, when we were just talking about Love 2.0, feel into that for a moment. Don't expect words.
It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay. Yeah. Remember when she'd just lean over and give you a kiss on the side of your face? It's kind of what she's doing now. And say, Vince, just allow. And what she really wants you to allow is something that's you've had a challenge with, but most of you had, just loving yourself. And she says that when you do, you'll really be able to connect with her. Not just think about her, but really connect, like you could smell her. And just feel her all around you. But she's saying, Vince, love yourself. Good. It should be here, our entire shout. And anytime you want to connect. Anytime. Good. Okay, let's continue. Thank you. Let's continue. Okay, well, what are we talking about? The battles. Oh, David. So the challenge went out. Did you even remember that we did that? Because Caldra didn't.
No.
No, okay. And in spite of that, I see you've let go of some big old battles in these past 6 months or so. What do you want to share what that was? No. Okay. And there's something different about you.
Well, more allowing.
Yeah, but you were battling something, David. And
Oh, myself.
yeah, it was a lot of some guilt that was in there.
Yes.
And you just got weary. I mean, you just finally gave up on the battle. And I think there's a feeling sometimes if you stop battling some of these old ghosts that were in your life, if you stop battling, they're going to overtake you. They're going to consume you. So you keep the battle going. And then you realize one day you're so freaking exhausted. You're so weary. You got nothing left, no ammo, no fight left in you. And you say, whatever. And you suddenly realize that very ghost that you've been battling, trying to keep at bay, disappears. Well, it's a tough one. It's a real tough one. There's more guilt that was in there. But suddenly it's like, what was I fighting all this time? And then if you really want to get into it, and you really feel the wisdom of the master, you realize, damn, I was just doing that for the fun of it. The sick, warped fun of it, but I was just doing it. There was never really any ghosts there. There was nothing really to battle. I'm so damn creative and kind of bored with things that I kept on piling this crap on until I actually believed it and really thought there was a demon there that I had to battle from within myself and to keep at bay. There wasn't at all. So that's kind of the real wisdom in it. Oh, I created that just to give me something to do. But I think we can create in better ways going forward. Yeah. Good. Do you feel in your life compared to, let's say, from Heaven's Cross on, what would you say would be the major changes you experienced?
More laughing, more humor,
Yeah, lightness.
more lightness.
Ease.
Yes,
Yeah.
ease.
Yeah, I mean, being serious, I guess, is okay once in a while. And I'm not saying to be frivolous, but you realize it's just all a big, wonderful game after all. Yeah. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
And I do like the vest.
Oh, well, thank
Yeah.
you very much.
You realize that you set up these circumstances in your life, and you set up these hardships in your life. You're setting them up. Nobody else is doing it to give you something to play with. And now, if I'd have said this 5 years ago to Shaumbra, they'd have run me out of town. So no, these are real problems, and you don't understand. Yeah, some of you still say that, but for the most part, it's like, that's right. I created that as something to play with, something to fight. And boy, did I get sucked into my own creation. I really believed it. And I really believed that I was lacking in abundance. I was really believed that I had all these problems. And you start to realize it was just a great big game. And that's where you start to realize also, I am a master. I did all that. And I got through it. I got back to me. I am a frickin' master, but I'm never going to do it that way again. All right. Alice. Yeah. Hi, Alice.
Good day.
So, battles.
I would have previously said I don't battle, but I realized
You really would have
recently-
said that
I would
in
have.
front of God and everybody?
I-
That you didn't battle?
However, I did kind of find my battle in the last few months.
Yeah.
It was health, weight, things like that, and came to this. Julie will tell you this. One day I was like, oh, I was just bored. I gave my, just like what you were saying. I was like, yeah, that's what I did. Oh, I was
Yeah.
bored. That's why I gave
You're
myself.
bored. And
this-
when you're
these things.
battling, you could say you're bored, or you just like the kind of weird creatorship of that. And then you're battling, let's say you're battling weight, for instance. What are you going to do? You're going to put on weight because it gives you something to battle, because
yeah,
otherwise you wouldn't have anything to battle.
Yeah.
Or even in your mind, you make up these weird scenarios and just to something to wake up in the morning and go to war with and keep you occupied. Hell, it's, I would say the hardest thing about being on the planet is you're creators and you get here and it's so uncreative. So you make up this shit,
Yeah,
give me
absolutely.
something to do. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to turn into an alcoholic. I'm going to, I'm going to do all these weird things because it's so limited down here. It's like, a really cheesy, bad playground. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So changes other than that, battles.
No, I mean, yeah, PG-10. I would
That's
always,
okay.
I would always have more sex. So it's like, oh, how can I do that? But I'm in a relationship, so.
You're right.
So,
Yeah.
so I'll let you figure it out. It's PG-10. I'm trying to think of any battles. The big one was health and weight and.
How about big one for you? Identity?
No,
No.
Nah.
Really?
no, a fat person versus not.
Well, that's an identity.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And, just how you kind of assessed yourself, how you niched yourself.
I can't. I'll go back to the sex thing.
Yeah,
It's
of course.
No, because
Of
it
course.
is. It's a big part of my identity.
Sure.
Like as the years, I don't want to say I've aged because it's not. It's just chronological.
Right.
In a relationship, you just have less sex, right? It's still happening, but that was part of my identity, like Casanova kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, point at me
hey,
when you say that, of
yeah,
course.
it's like, hey.
Yeah.
Right, and
Yeah.
so that was something that I'm still
Why
actually in
I
that.
have to
Yeah.
ask, and we're going to go to R here, why was sex important to you?
It feels wonderful.
Oh, good.
It really. There's a place I go to that is
Right.
out of this world. It's not boring. Put it that way.
Right. No, it's
Yeah,
not boring.
yeah.
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly why. It's very sensual, very, and we're going to soon be doing the cloud class about master's love, but we're going to talk about sex.
Sweet.
And it does. It goes to a new place, but it's not just to get the drama or the kind of the energy hit of the beautiful nature that it can be. But also, just like love, it can be degraded and perverted and everything else, twisted. But yeah, it gets you back in touch with yourself. Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
yeah. You need a partner? We're going to X now.
I always have myself, so
Right.
there is that.
Yeah. And there should be no shame in that. I mean, it's beautiful with or without. Absolutely. And that's one of those things that we're going to move beyond the shame in that. Oh, the church, they so taught that.
Oh yeah.
Look at the teachers. There's something wrong with that.
They didn't have me as their teacher.
Right. So good. Thank you so much. Linda, couple of the new ones.
Couple new ones.
Yeah. Here's
the
Linda.
mic
Oh,
is
she's
screaming
going to.
over here.
Greetings. Yeah. Go ahead and take a good deep breath. Yeah. It's not, nobody's watching. Just you and I, that's it. So what have your battles been?
Mostly self-love.
Self-love? That's a tough one. That, by the way, that is the toughest. I mean, if you're beyond the other stuff and it's just self-love, that's you're right where you should be. What's the problem with it?
Just knowing that
Yeah.
I'm not good enough.
Yeah. Where'd that come from? That you're not good enough, you're not whatever, fill in the blank. Where'd that come from?
My DNA.
Yeah. And yeah, your DNA, it's in there. It's in the people that, were around you in the earlier part of your life. And please understand it the way I mean it, but that really did you a lot of good. I mean, it was bad, but it did you good because you did not accept it. It was pounded into you. You weren't worthy. Somebody else is better. How come you couldn't be more? Type of thing. But you actually said, no, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna get sucked into that. But you've still been battling it. Yeah. So are you pretty much ready to not do that anymore?
Oh, I don't do that anymore.
Okay, you don't do it at all.
No.
Good. Okay,
Don't.
when did that end?
I think right after Heaven's Cross.
Yeah, good. Good.
Yeah.
Anything you're battling now?
No.
Good. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank
okay,
you.
Linda, one more. Oh. Yeah.
I like you too.
Greetings.
Hi.
Anything you've been battling or put away now? What did you used
I
to?
put everything away.
Good, good.
No battles over here.
No battles. Other
No.
people?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, all right. That's always a tough one. Other people. And what's the go around with them?
My kids.
Your kids. Yeah. How many children do you have?
11.
11.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a lot. And so you would almost anticipate a few problems there.
With the two oldest one.
Two oldest
But,
ones. How
yeah.
old are the oldest?
I think 31 and 32.
31, 32. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's still
They
going
don't
around.
like me too much.
They don't like you?
Nope.
Why? Well, I mean,
They thought I
it-
was a bad mom, so
thought you were a bad mom.
yeah.
But do you think there's something else going on?
With
like
them,
maybe karmic, past life type of stuff that was brought in?
maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. So, but have you let those battles go?
Oh, long time ago.
Good. But are they still?
My daughter, she wouldn't leave me alone. She keep on saying, I don't want to be around you. And then she's saying, oh, I want to be next to you.
Right,
so
right.
she keeps on going back and forth.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you feel good that you've let the battles go in your
Oh,
life?
I've been let those go.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adamus.
You bet.
Love you.
Thank you. Love you too. So the challenge was, can you let go of the battles? Yes, most of you done a pretty good job. Some of you just keep a couple in the back pocket in case you have a really boring day. And once in a while, it's fun to get in there. It really is. You got to be experts in it. You were really good at it. Other than the parts where you're battling yourself, you weren't very good about that. Other people, outside circumstances, but still those inner battles of basically, can I love myself? And we are going to be talking a lot more about the master's love, going to the next step. And I'll say, with the kind of love 1.0, it was more difficult to love yourself because there was a lot of junk and expectations and strange concepts about what love was. Love 2.0, a lot easier. And I ask you to feel into it for a moment. I'm so excited that we're going to be addressing this in a cloud class soon. But this Love 2.0 is so much easier. And starting with a group that was recently in Kona, and now with Shaumbra in general, you're really the ones, you're not making it or creating it, but you're opening the pathways for it. And that's what I would say is kind of the evolution strategy for the planet right now. In other words, you got this planet where love was first experienced, and it's an amazing thing, and it leads to things like sex and everything else that was experienced here. But in order for the planet to evolve, where you would like it to go to, there wasn't a clear pathway, and we had the forces of technology pushing for evolution. We had the old human Homo sapien templates, knowing it was outdated. Something had to create this new pathway, and that is Love 2.0. And again, I'm going to be talking a lot more about it, but what a great day to be in love with yourself. Take a moment to feel into that. What a great day to be in love with yourself without battling, without the old junk associated with love, without having to have a partner. Without having to have a partner. It's possible. And back in the earlier days of Shaumbra, when Tobias was with you, that was one of the biggest issues. I don't have a partner. And, you felt lonely or maybe awkward, odd, and you just wanted somebody to share with, but so much of what you went through led to the realization actually you can't have a partner, a real partner, until you come to this place within yourself, Love 2.0, Master's Love. It's changing the world. It's the light that you're shining right now. You're not just like, blaring out this light, it's got a purpose to it. It's got an energy design to it. I'm going to say that 2024 for Shaumbra is a year of love for yourself, and also finding others that you can truly love, not in the old way, but in a very free, a very new way. And yeah, and let's take a deep breath with that, and let's feel it. And it is a variety of things. It's metaphysical, it's spiritual, it's sacred, it's the pathway that's going to lead the planet through some of the challenges that it has right now. Okay, now time to kick your ass. But that's what you come here for, right? You say, okay, nice talk, but let's get to the point. Let's do a little ass kicking. The Shaumbra Curse. I've talked about it a little bit in Keyhawk and with the Crimson Circle Angels. Everything is right here. The work you're doing, I don't even want to call it work, but why you're here is amazing. I mean, this level of service, what we're doing in the metaphysics, is unprecedented. And I joke about it once in a while, but I'm actually very serious. At the Ascended Masters Club, they pay attention. They know what's going on here. And I think some of them are envious. Good for them. I think they use what we're doing here as a template for their groups. And I can almost prove my point. We talk about something here in our groups, our workshops, our shouts, and 6 months later, a year later, they're talking about it in their groups. And you'll notice that what we talk about here, they're talking about pretty soon, because they're eavesdropping, the other Ascended Masters. They're stealing our material, but we want them to, right? We're leading the way. And in a way, it's kind of, I do get a little upset. We were talking the other night at the club, and I said, so, yes, we're making tremendous progress with Shaumbra. We are now we're blowing past you guys, not only in the metaphysics, but we're going into Love 2.0. And whoa, where is that? Where do we find out more about it? It's like, you got to come to the shouts. We're developing this Love 2.0, the Master's Love. And they want to know more about it. And but on the other hand, I'm kind of checking their energies out, and it's like, I see what's going on here. They're watching you. We're watching Shaumbra because you're going through it first. And they're like, let their group go through it first and see if they hit the wall, shatter apart or whatever. Then if it works out, then we'll adapt it. Well, the fact is, we don't go into walls. We don't shatter. We don't do any of that. We proceed with grace and with ease and get through it. But so they're kind of spying on us, but that's okay. But the issue is that there's still this Shaumbra Curse. And I was scratching my head a whole lot these past couple months, and it's like all the tools are there. The right people are right here. This was your commitment, your passion to be here right now. Why? And you're shining your light. That's not the issue. Why are you still running into problems? Why are you still, not all of you, some of you are doing very, very well, but there's still too many that are having some of the old issues, whether it's abundance, health, self-worth, or relationships. I was back from Tobias, the 4 main areas. And I really got to feeling into it and talking to some of you at night. But when we were just chatting, I was really looking underneath. What's going on? I mean, everything is there. There should be breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough, more ease, more grace, more joy in your life. What is it? What is this Shaumbra curse? I'll ask you first before I give my answer. So, Linda with a microphone, what's causing this kind of calamity? Kind of. Go ahead.
I was just listening to what you were saying,
Yes.
and trying to tune into it, and I don't look at what I experience as being a calamity or restrictive in any way. So, since I got the microphone, I came to there must be something there.
Right. Yeah.
But as we were talking earlier about the about letting go, not fighting, and that one was a big one for me. And I think part of what was letting go of the fighting, because there was a control issue that I was aware of by having tension, whether you were for or against, allowed me a certain amount of control or perceived control.
Yes. That's
So-
a very, very good point.
When I let it go,
Yeah.
all of a sudden there was no stimulus. There was nothing to bounce off of, to control, to
Right.
manage.
Right.
So where am I now then? Because there's an expansion that's happening, but the human doesn't know where it's coming from, what is expanding, or how to respond to that space.
And sometimes because there's no tension, there's no battle, you think nothing is happening and somehow you failed, but you just don't have the old battlefield anymore.
Correct.
Yeah. And you get used to it after a lot of lifetimes. After this, I like the way you put it. It's a tension that's always there. It's something to work against that tension, to counteract that tension. And suddenly when there is none, you're like, wow, what the hell am I doing here? Well,
Right.
to be discovered.
Right.
Yeah. Good. So, Shaumbra Curse. Well,
I guess what comes to mind for me is feeling like I take on too much. Like there's an expectation of knowing I'm big, and then there's this transition of how that distills down into the human experience.
yes.
And shining light somehow is, I mean, I understand the consciousness, and there's that sense of it. When you're talking about Vince, it's like tears coming down my eyes feeling Carolyn in the room.
Yeah.
So it's like being in tune with that, but then also seeing some of the things that I interpret as being hard on the planet right now.
Right.
And that brings up a big emotion in me to see those things happening when I know it's within myself, and then aspects that are taking place that kind of atrocities can
So,
happen.
If I could,
Yeah,
what you're
please,
saying is
yeah.
perfect, absolutely perfect. But as long as others are on the planet suffering, I have to suffer.
That's
Boom.
probably it.
One of the elements of the Shaumbra Curse. How part of you is saying, how can I enjoy my life? How can I walk freely, sensually, with ease and grace? It would be almost like lack of compassion. It'd be like almost, what would you call it, arrogance, if I didn't suffer to a degree also. So I have to keep a little bit of suffering on my back to have compassion for others. That's bullshit. I mean, no, it really is. It sounds noble and all, but it's not. Because you're still carrying things that are not yours, which is one of the other Shaumbra curses. You're still feeling that I've got to stay in tune with suffering on the rest of the planet. If I'm going to be able to shine my light, I better know what I'm shining it on. No, not at all, because that's only going to hold you back, and unless you like suffering, maybe, but I don't think so.
It feels like the holding back is if I let go of that.
Yeah. And you made a statement, too. You said you've always, I'm paraphrasing, but you've always known you've had it more than others. Just more energy, more insight, you can carry more load on your back than most others. And so you do. All of you do that. You're more durable. You might be sensitive, but you're just more durable. you can withstand more, so you keep carrying more in your back. Whereas you really don't need to carry any, but it's a Shaumbra curse. I can handle the load. I can take it on. Do you think the others really appreciate it? They're going to put more on your load, you know.
Yeah.
They're going to load you up while they're unloading themselves. It's not worth it. Yeah, good. Very, very insightful. A couple more. Linda's on the prowl. Everybody's ducking. Hello, dear.
Hi.
Hi. Shaumbra Curse. Yeah. Is it, does it surprise you?
Disappointed more than surprised.
Yeah. I know, me too.
Yeah.
I was like, what? What is going on? Tobias and I have also had a number of talks about it, and he's like, oh, you're right, they do. They always have, you know, and they just keep on with it. Why? It doesn't make sense.
Tradition.
Tradition, right. It's like, he said it's like the family crest, you know. You've got to do it. So what are some of the other things involved in this Shaumbra Curse?
You've listed several.
Mm-hmm. Oh, how about yourself personally? What? Yeah.
The thing with the compromise that you did recently.
Yeah.
Boy, I started, going out to the lake and digging for my sword.
Yeah.
Not gonna
Right.
compromise
Did you
anymore.
find it?
Well, I found a bunch of little ones. Yeah, not,
Yeah. Just waiting for the hand to come up from the waters with the sword, and yeah.
So yeah, I'm just finding a balance between that compromise and no battle.
Yeah.
No compromise, no battle.
Yeah, it's really not that tough, actually. You know, you've all compromised. That's the other Shaumbra. One of the other facets of the Shaumbra Curse is compromise.
Oh yeah.
There's a
all
difference between compromising and cooperating. You know, as long as you're here on the planet, you have to cooperate. We're going to talk about that in Pronost. You know, the law's not yours, but there's a level of cooperation. But compromise, selling yourself out, doing something half-assed, no, not so good. So yes, compromise is on that list. Yep. Can you not compromise?
No. I can't not compromise.
Right. That sounds strange. Yes. No, compromising will never really help you or others at all. It's kind of a sellout. But in the moment when you're like under some pressure, you've got a tough situation, you resort back to it. Got to compromise. Got to keep the waters calm here. But ultimately, the storm still comes up, and you might as well get it over with right then and there. No compromise. You know, namaste. You go your way, I'll go mine. Aloha. Okay. Thank you. Couple more. Hey, Carrie, what time's dinner? I'm wondering how long we can go. She's drinking. She's drunk. Oh no. I didn't mean that for her. I'm sorry to announce, but there is no more Saint Germain liqueur left. Yes. Hi, Terry.
Hi.
Hi. So, Shaumbra Curse. What else is in this? What's the holdback? Why everything's there? Everything is there.
Yeah.
What is the holdback?
Relationship is probably my biggest.
Are you in one?
47 years.
47. That's a long time. Wow. And is that because of compromise or because you don't want to be a grandmaster, you know, and your partner is not?
Well, certainly my partner. Sometimes I think we have this kind of relationship that either you or Tobias talked about, where one of us is there to anchor.
Right.
That the other one doesn't go flying off.
Right.
And I have flown a lot in my life.
Yes, you have.
And
Yeah.
So
what do you do with the anchor?
Well, you know, she's been a wonderful person.
Yeah.
To stick by me, and but
Ooh, there's that butt. Okay.
she is. she understands the I am thing.
Well, good, good.
You know, I'm always throwing out little things that you said.
Right.
It doesn't go well. Goes very bad.
I think that's the other part of the Shaumbra Curse. You throw this stuff out there, it doesn't go over
No,
real
it
well.
does. It
right.
goes right.
Yeah. You're
Very
right in the
bad.
middle of an argument.
Yeah.
She's upset with you because you leave your clothes all over the place, and
Right.
you say, "I am that I am." What? What? Pick up your underwear, Terry. You know.
Yeah.
I exist. Yeah, a little too much, Terry. You know.
You must have done this before,
Yeah,
Adamus, yourself.
So what do you do? That's a tough one. What
yeah,
do you do?
because
47 years. Yeah.
you know, when you were talking, maybe the angel thing or something, that you were going to do this thing about we should all have an experience of. I hope she's not watching.
Yeah. That would be convenient.
She probably isn't. I wonder sometimes if my daughter sneakily watches, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Find out what the old man's doing.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Give him one of these
I know.
brochures. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a help. But
So to the point here, why
what's
is that
the
a
point?
Shaumbra Curse?
What are we talking about?
Shaumbra Curse.
The Shaumbra Curse. Yeah. So anyway, dealing with this relationship, and you started talking about, you know, a perfect love, and you know that we should all be able to get to this place of
Yep.
a experience of perfect love. I think of like Sam coming back and finding, because Tobias, you get the idea, he was just battling, and at the very end, right?
He was. Yeah.
And,
you know, and part of the problem with Tobias and love and partners is he was so godly. I mean, so trying to please God all the time
Yeah.
that he never would allow himself true love. He didn't
Yeah.
think he deserved it. Otherwise, God would have given it to him. God gave him some real bitches. And, you know, I mean, it was, I kid you not. I mean, I know some of them. Oh, my God. Tobias, what were you thinking? He said they were all arranged marriages. And I said, yes, arranged by your damn energy, because you didn't think you deserved a happy relationship.
Yeah.
Yes, they were arranged. So what do you do, Terry? What do you do?
So we're just, I'm letting my soul handle it lately.
Okay, good.
I've
What is
been
that?
able to kind of connect there, and had a lot of things that felt often with the relationship or my daughter and grandkids and so forth, things that I didn't see how this is going to work out, but I let it go. Day or two,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's kind of worked
Did you
itself
read
out.
Calder's article that I kind of helped write?
Yeah,
He didn't
yeah,
list me
yeah.
as a co-author, but I was there helping him. And about you just go up to the higher potentials, not trying to seek or search anything,
Yeah.
but just being in that consciousness, in that energy
That
dynamic.
was very, very good.
Thank you. I enjoyed writing it.
And I have a similar thing.
By the
But
way,
I
we're
like-
having a little battle here. Speaking of battles, but go ahead.
No, I liked Jeff's idea better than mine, maybe, but I still can kind of connect to this.
Can we make this real simple?
Yeah.
And this applies in this whole Shaumbra Curse thing. You're in a relationship, a lot of good things.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of love and a lot of benefit to both of you, but real simple, let her free. Let her free. And that doesn't mean throwing her out the door. It means stop. Well, some of you were thinking that. Yeah. Get home, and boom, she's out. No. I mean, energetically, uncouple.
Yeah.
And then watch, because it can really soar. The relationship can take on a whole new level, but you've got to set her free.
Yeah.
And it may break apart too. And it doesn't really matter. And I know to the human side goes, oh, it matters because we have this. No, it really doesn't matter. So set her free, energetically in your heart, love you. I release you, because you're still depending on her for some things.
Yeah, I think I've managed to let a lot go.
Yeah, but a
But
lot
there's
isn't all. You know, I mean,
Right.
that's saying of a master.
Well,
a
could
lot
you,
of you can let a lot go. And
specifically
you
tell
can
me
still have a
where
lot
we
there.
need
You
to
can
go?
let a lot go and still have a lot of crap. So it's absolute freedom, releasing her soul. You've been together, you've been sharing, loving, and holding each other back to a certain extent.
Yep.
You to her as much as her to you.
Yeah.
So you say, we grant each other freedom, even you just granting her freedom on a soul level, on a human level, and watch what happens. Now, the human, sometimes in a case like this, oh my God, a little bit of freedom, or maybe a lot of freedom, but I'm talking total freedom. The human panics. What's going to happen? Then the human starts compromising, and then things get junky, and you wonder why things aren't working out in your life. You grant this freedom, and the human may panic for a moment and run through all sorts of scenarios in their mind about what's going to happen, and go through the fear scenarios. But it actually, it's the best possible. Things you might not even be able to imagine right now transpiring, because a human often comes from a very limited standpoint. And it's scary to let somebody free. It's really scary to let yourself free. But you do it, and it's a whole new way of putting that creative energy to use.
Can I ask you one thing?
Absolutely.
One thing that keeps occurring to me is what I'm dealing with is my own energy, right? It's
yes.
It's her.
You're right.
Maybe like
Ultimately, it's yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
but so then I say, well, I don't. This is my problem, my energy, and that
Not your
gets
problem.
sticky.
Not really. Once you let it go, once you got all this energy, or sticky energy, whatever it is, and you say, I'm not gonna play with that anymore. I was bored, and that's what I was doing, or
Yeah.
whatever. You let it all free, and that's really what you're doing when you let her free. You let it all free, and then it comes back in a very different way. One of the dynamics we talked about with at the recent gatherings, and also in Keehawk, is I don't want to get too far off track here. We have another Marab. We've got some ascended beings waiting for us to do the last Marab. Come on, Adamus. And we have hungry people, and we have Carrie and Vanessa waiting. So all your human experiences go into your Akasha. It's personal. It is not group. It is your personal Akasha. Everything you've ever done on any of your lifetimes sitting up in Akashaville. And it sits up there and ferments and gets smelly and dirty and everything else. But it's hanging out there. There are all the memories, all the energy designs of everything you've ever done. And you get to this certain point on becoming a master, and it starts opening up. First, it's a little, like there's so much in there, so much junk, and it's like a pressure cooker, and pretty soon it develops a little leak. Starts leaking out the side, and then pretty soon more and more, this stuff, all the memories, everything starts leaving the Akasha. And when it does, the soul grabs it and says, okay, wisdom time. It wisdomizes it, then it brings it back as new energy. That's what we talked about in the gatherings, exploring this new energy, how it's different, the new light, how it's different. And back to my point, you set something free, you're actually giving permission as the human to let it go from the Akasha, your big record book, and now allowing it to be transmuted to wisdom. So letting yourself free, letting your partner free, any of that, it feels tough, it's scary, but ultimately, what could be wrong with letting something go free?
Right.
How much smellier do you want it to get? I mean, really, it ferments in there.
Right.
Yeah. Good. Not distills, it ferments. Good. Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. So we do have to move on. But the Shaumbra Curse, it's carrying loads on your back because you think you have to, suffering, so you think you have empathy. It's compromising. I'm going to just get to the bottom line. You're still playing a game. And it's a game that you like, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. It's still saying, okay, I'm moments away from realization. moments away, but not quite. How long are you going to play that game? Really? How long? Now, we started this show today with some beautiful music. And I said, it's all right here. Let's unfold it now. Let's go through the experience of how we just made beautiful music. And that's it with the Shaumbra Curse, too. It's like, let's go beyond now. Let's get to the beautiful music that's already there. Let's get to the sensual, light, creative nature of living as a human on this planet. A marvelous experience, by the way. But let's take that next step. So let's take this moment before we bring in the my friends. Let's take this moment to set that Shaumbra Curse free for all of us individually, but for this whole group. It's like a cloud that kind of hovers around Shaumbra. It's not overwhelming, but it's there. It's like, a little bit of a stinky odor, What is that? It's not bad, but it's like just a little stinky odor in the room. Let's let that go. And in order to make 2024 our year of going into Love 2.0, you have to let it go. You really have to. The Shaumbra Curse is a little bit of unnecessary suffering. It's a hesitation. It's maybe not feeling you're quite ready, or, that's actually kind of low consciousness. It's more you're still having fun playing the game. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. So let's move beyond that. Let's let that Shaumbra Curse go. Take a good deep breath. I'd like to go back to the Ascended Masters Club someday soon and say, we did it. We let that old curse go. It was tough, It was tough because it's like an old friend in a way. But we did. We've set ourselves free. Good deep breath. That Shaumbra Curse. Okay, now let's move to our final part of the gathering. So, yes, it's tough at times. It's a game at times, but it's a tough game. And it wears you down to the point where you can barely think. You can barely rise above some of the chaos. We talk about shining your light and doing the real work you've come to do on this planet. And there's times I know it wears you out. But what I've done is I've asked a dozen of your friends and Ascended Masters to join today with me in the circle of light. And they're going to radiate their light to you. And all they ask is that you receive it. It's for you. And there's no agenda in it. There's no saying, Mary, you should do this or that. They just want you to receive it. And let it fill your heart. And they're not trying to change you. You won't feel any push or pressure in the light of these grand beings. You're going to feel nothing, sense nothing but their love. Let's take a deep breath, and they're gathering in a circle around us. And 12 of them. Makes me feel like Jesus. Jesus loves Jesus jokes, by the way. Yeah. He's actually, Yeshua has a good sense of humor. Loves the jokes. Doesn't love the rituals. Doesn't love the religious part, but loves the jokes. I mean, if you can't tell a Jesus joke, what joke can you tell after all? Right? Right. Jesus Christ. All right, all right. Now we got 13. Yeshua just joined in. Now, seriously, I mean, another cup of coffee. Oh, he said he doesn't drink coffee. Another shot. Yeah. So I ask you to just allow right now and feel their love. Now you're out there doing so much for others and internally with yourself. When's the last time you allowed Jesus and others to just love you? I'm being corrected. I'm supposed to call him Yeshua, but it's actually more fun with Jesus, you know. All right. Yeshua Christ. So let's take a deep breath right now and receive that light. I want you to be on the receiving end this time. You're always on the giving end. I guess this is your Christmas present from me and them to you. Take a good deep breath and let the light shine. Their light to you. Yeah, Yeshua would like you to post some Jesus jokes on your social media. No, seriously. I mean, you gotta laugh. And just receive, please. I want you to experience what it's like to receive the light, because you're doing it for others. Yes, and for yourself, but to receive it coming from ascended masters, biblical figures, and some of the dear friends that sat in these very seats before. Carolyn, Sart, FM, Doxy. No, I'm sorry. Edith is coming back. Oh, she I guess she could have made it to the Ascended Masters Club maybe, but no, she's coming back. So hold that chair open for her. Someday if a little girl walks in the door and she's wearing a tablecloth for her for her jacket, her dress, Edith, you're back. You've got to laugh, right? You just got to laugh. This is a grand time for just receiving that light and feeling it, and it kind of comes in and kind of tickles you. You can almost feel that light smiling and wanting to be playful. You just let it soak in, and you might not feel anything or get a physical reaction. You might not. Doesn't really matter. It's there. For some of you, it could take days to even realize you felt something. It doesn't matter. It's right there. One's light is a very beautiful, interesting thing. And when you allow their light to come in, it's very pure because of who they are, but you start to realize you're feeling light all the time from everybody. Once you connect here like this and sense it, you realize, my gosh, every time I'm talking to somebody, interacting with somebody, my mind hears the words and sees what they look like and all the rest of that, but there's always a level where you're just feeling their light. And some you wouldn't think contained any light at all. They don't even know how to spell light. For most of them, it's like the beer, Lite. But then at the level, somewhere within each and every being is that light. So by receiving this, what we're doing here today, you sooner or later start to be able to sense and perceive the light in others, no matter how buried it might seem to be. And they're not just shining their light, they're kind of humming a little bit too. And they're embracing you. You're not necessarily going to feel a hand on your shoulder. It's just a feeling of being surrounded and embraced, held, comforted. If you're having any challenge right now, you're saying, well, I don't feel anything happening, because you see, in a light like this, there's no resisting force. There's no opposing force. There's no battle. So you're not feeling the duality or the resistance. So what you do is you take a deep breath and you let yourself go to a higher level of consciousness where there doesn't need to be a resistance, an opposition, something that feels different. The human expectation is, well, I'm going to feel something, but that expectation occurs on the duality level, so to speak. So let's take a deep breath and rise to that level where there's not a resistance or opposition. It's not a negative positive. It's not a me, them. It's simply their light. Like you, when you shine your light, there's not an agenda, there's not a bias. It is just a pure stream. It's the same here now as you receive from these grand beings. I want you to experience what it's like to sense, to feel the light. And you might say, well, this just feels like me. Bingo. Yes. When it doesn't have an agenda, when the light is not trying to heal or repair or change direction, it is simply there in light, in total compassion, it is going to feel like yours. What it's doing is their light is dancing with your light. And because it is light and this new love, and it's very, very clean, it's going to feel like you. And I want you to feel into how joyful they are in doing this. This isn't a job for them. This isn't hard to do. A simple joy. This is what they love to do. I have Carolyn bouncing off the ceiling, so happy to be here. and just very recently gone to the other side, but still feeling the beauty. You can almost hear her singing. I love when that happens. Let's take a good deep breath. You know, when you shine your light out, the reason you're here on the planet right now, it's kind of like this. This is what some are actually getting, or others are getting at other levels. I wanted you to be the receivers today. Just receive it. That's all. Let's take a good deep breath into the circle of light for all those who gathered here today, just to shine their light upon you so you could feel what it's like. Let's take a deep breath and receive that light. Good deep breath. Good deep breath. So, dear Shaumbra, Jesus Christ, what a day. With that, remember, all is well and getting even better in all of creation. I am Adamus. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, this is not a time for a lot of words other than to say, be with the beauty of what we've all had the opportunity to receive. Allow for yourself And we'll be back next month. Thank you for being a part of this very special shout. Thank you.